Is the Beltway stop a popular metaphor meaning a concurrence of events or things? I'm interested in the phrase, Beltway stop in the Oscar race, which is the title of an article appearing in December 21 New York Times. It comments on the concurrence of movies focused on the country's politics in Oscar Prize race as follows. In the last few weeks, Washington and its corridors of power have become an unusual second front in the annual battle for Hollywood's Best Picture Oscar. No fewer than three leading contenders, Lincoln, Zero Dark 30 and Argo, have found their prize campaigns entwined with the nation's politics. Old defines Beltway as an AME, a ring road, especially the one around Washington, D.C., but I surmise that Beltway stop here implies a succession of events or things, represented by the concurrence of three politics-focused films as contenders in the Oscar race. I wonder if this expression is used very often in writing and conversation, or just a nonce word invented for this specific article. Additionally, why is the stop in singular form when there are three political theme contenders, instances, of Lincoln, Zero Dark 30 and Argo in the Oscar race?
The Capital Beltway is a freeway encircling Washington, D.C., and as Peter's comment states, is often used as a metonym for the federal government and the associated establishment. Inside the Beltway, thinking, for example, refers not just to the opinion of members of the government, but to the consensus of the journalist or lobbyist or pundit class that lives there. Outside the Beltway is alleged to be the opposite, although the editors of the blog of that name seem mostly to reside inside the Beltway. There is also a Capital Beltway station on the trunk railway line that goes from Washington to New York and Boston. I believe the author here is extending the metaphor of the Oscar competition as a race by suggesting that it has made a stop at the Beltway to connect to these particular politics-themed movies. Incidentally, the Beltway when under construction was called the Circumferential Highway. There's a reference by that name in some or another early 1960s political novel that Google won't find for me.
It's not a common idiom, and I'm a little puzzled as to the writer's intent here. The Beltway is a key highway in Washington, D.C., so Beltway certainly just refers to Washington itself. Beltway stop may be an allusion to a pit stop in a racing track, a refueling refitting point in the race. This fits the race metaphor, but I don't see how the movies are refueling refitting. It may also be related to bus stop, as Stonib said in a comment, a stop along the journey to the Oscars. This is more in line with a statement later in the article referring to the Oscar trail's detour into Washington, but it doesn't quite fit with the race metaphor, and I'm not really sure how the movies are supposed to be pausing in DC. In short, I think it's a weird choice for a title.
A stop can mean a layover, so the connotation of the headline is that there are several movies contending for an Oscar that involve the politics of Washington in addition to the various themes of other Oscar contenders.